Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. In today's show, we'll introduce you to the new Director of Inspections and Permits and take a look at our two representatives in the Senior Idol competition. Making headlines this week, we take you once again to the Maryland General Assembly, where state lawmakers are considering hundreds of bills that affect the citizens of our state. County Executive Leopold has been traveling across the street each week, and most recently he was urging representatives to put the trust back in the state's Transportation Trust Fund. The fund is set up to collect gas tax revenues and money from other sources to pay for road repairs and upgrades. But with holes to fill our other areas of the budget over the years, more than $800 million has been diverted from transportation to other areas since 1984. Highway user revenue provided to Anne Arundel County has been cut from $31 million 3 years ago to only $800,000. The county executive urged lawmakers to put a firewall between transportation funds and the rest of the budget to make sure construction projects are protected. Speaking in support of House Bill 518, he said, "In these difficult fiscal times, it is more important than ever to protect the taxpayers' investment in building our infrastructure. When you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you do is stop digging. The bill must be approved by the House Judiciary Committee to reach consideration in the Senate. For more information or to submit testimony on the bill, call 410-841-3407.
Well, last week we told you about a bill that would increase criminal penalties for cruelty to animals, which we call the Bear Bear Bill. It was inspired by the shooting of a Siberian husky named Bear Bear at a Severn dog park. Well, the public will have another opportunity to testify on March 3rd in support of this legislation. House Bill 294 would increase the maximum penalty for animal cruelty from 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine to 6 months in jail and a $2,500 fine. A separate misdemeanor is added in the legislation for use of a firearm or accelerant that carries a maximum 1 year in jail and a $5,000 fine. For information on how you can testify in writing or in person, call the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee at 410-441-2363.
This week, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,560 calls for service. This included more than 1,132 emergency medical calls and 208 fire calls. This week, county firefighters were kept busy fighting several brush fires in the area that scorched hundreds of acres of land and damaged several structures. With us now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. On Friday and Saturday, February 19th and 20th, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to more than 58 reported brush fires in the county. Some of these fires extended and spread to nearby structures in some areas. In Severn, a home was destroyed. In Glen Burnie and Davisonville, 2 garages were damaged. And in Pasadena, a shed was damaged. In the community of Lake Shore, an athletic complex was threatened by brush fires in that area. Last weekend's weather conditions, combining low humidity with sustained winds in excess of 20 miles per hour, fueled fires which normally would have been manageable. The resulting wildfires consumed virtually everything in their path. The winds in these cases helped fires grow immensely in short periods of time, jumping creeks, roadways, and other barriers. In Severn, a fire on Maple Road destroyed a home and caused a closure of several roads in the immediate area due to the adverse smoke conditions. However, by far the largest brush fire occurred on Saturday in the Conway Road area of Crofton. The fire blackened more than 700 acres of land and destroyed 2 barns, one of which was on the historic registry. It also destroyed 2 office trailers and 2 vehicles. Although there were no mandatory evacuations instituted, some residents in the area evacuated on their own accord as a result of the incident. In all, more than 100 firefighters from the region helped to fight this and numerous other blazes in the area. The Crofton fire was contained early Sunday morning after members from the Maryland Department of Forestry utilized bulldozers to cut a fire break around the fire. Karla?
Thanks, Chief. County fire officials advised that no civilians were injured as a result of the fires. Red flag warnings were lifted on Monday, February 21st after rain infiltrated the area and an increasing relative humidity helped to improve the conditions.
Yeah, I just want to say, Karla, before we go into break here, that was a horrible day. I've never seen a day in the last 10 years across the state where we saw so many brush fires pop
That's
up.
true.
And for the job that our firefighters from Anne Arundel County, volunteers and career, and then other counties, I mean, they were bringing engines in from as far as the Eastern Shore to help protect our property here in the county. They did a wonderful job. These guys worked very hard to make sure that we didn't see any major property losses or any losses of life out there.
They did an excellent job, and as someone who didn't live too far away from the brush fire, I was grateful to them. And yeah, it was a crazy day, lots of high winds, 50 miles per hour. Part of our fence blew down.
Wow, well, crazy weather we're having.
Yes.
Maybe we'll talk more about that crazy weather a little bit later.
Okay.
This week, County Executive Leopold sat down with 2 county employees who are making a splash, each in their own way. First, he talks with Robert Hubbard. He's our new Director of Inspections and Permits. So let's take a look at what Mr. Hubbard has in store for INP.
Hello, this is County Executive John Leopold for another segment of Week in Review. With me today is Robert Hubbard, our new Director of the Department of Inspections and Permits. Robert, welcome on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Executive, and thank you for appointing me to this great position here in Anne Arundel County.
Inspections and permits for more than 2 decades that I'm aware of has always come in for criticism that people say that they're not getting their permits processed fast enough. It's just a perennial complaint that I've heard all my time in public life, not only as county executive, but previously when I served 20 years in the General Assembly. You have had a great deal of experience in Montgomery County in a similar position there. First, let's start with your experience in Montgomery County. What are some of the lessons you learned in Montgomery County that might be useful here in your new job?
Well, thank you. I have nearly 29 years of experience with Montgomery County, and the last 10 of which we're creating a department that's very similar to inspections and permits. In Montgomery County, we combined all the regulatory functions that the executive branch managed into a single department. And it was my responsibility to meld all those component parts together. We strived, as I will strive here in Anne Arundel Counties, to provide the highest level of customer service while ensuring compliance with Anne Arundel County's regulatory requirements.
Well, you've only been on the job about a month. You found out where the men's room is, I assume.
Absolutely.
But in this 1 month, I know it's early, but what are your first impressions?
My first impressions are we have a great staff here in Anne Arundel County. They're very hardworking. As you said, they have a very full plate in terms of their responsibilities. And it's hard to please everybody in a regulatory capacity. We're going to approve some things that other people are going to disagree with. We're going to be appealed when we issue certain permits and don't issue certain permits. So it's a double-edged sword in terms of our responsibility, but we have to ensure that we are issuing permits that comply with the laws of Anne Arundel County, that the construction that ensues as a result of those permits is done in compliance with the codes and the standards, and that if they don't, that we have the ability to take enforcement action that will correct the violations that occur.
Do you yourself ever go out personally and look at some of the sites?
I enjoy that very much. I try and get out every week with an inspector in one of our various disciplines to see what's going on out in the field. I think it's important to be out there to see how we interact with the public, to make sure that as we're conducting our inspection services that we're doing it in a consistent and fair manner. The other thing that I've done in this short time that I've been here, I've already had a chance to visit with the judiciary and watch our inspectors in the courts and see how the courts respond. And I have to give credit to your law department, John Hodgson in particular. They do a fantastic job in supporting the department from what I've seen and from getting violators assessed penalties and appropriate penalties when they're in violation.
Sometimes people will say, you know, I just have a small project, a deck or some other small project in their minds, and they ask, well, why can't those small projects be handled on a faster track than some of the larger ones? What's your response to that?
I think we need to look at that, how we can streamline our permitting process. In my past work in Montgomery County, we basically processed every residential permit application except for the major additions to homes in an over-the-counter type of review. Now, we do offer that in Anne Arundel County, and it's offered every Wednesday, not just for homeowners, but also for small businessmen that have small projects where they're not changing the use of the tenant space. We allow over-the-counter reviews. I'd like to see us be able to expand that process, of course, but times are tough economically. We're not going to be able to grow our staff, and we have to work within the resources that we have. But we certainly will look to that as a goal for streamlining the permit process.
So much of government is interdepartmental cooperation. Do you find that you're working with planning and zoning and other departments in your job?
Absolutely. Key is planning and zoning and the Department of Public Works. We have to play off of one another as we approve these plans and be certain that every step is followed during the development and regulatory process. And those two departments certainly are key. We also will be working closely with the Information Technology Department to see how we can enhance our technologies to help streamline the permit process.
The website, I guess, is critical. People have what is the main, if they have questions, what's the main website site that they should contact?
It's, of course, you go to the homepage for Anne Arundel County government and go to departments, to inspections and permits, and that will get you to our website. We do offer some limited internet permits, primarily the trade permits, that individuals can apply for and obtain online.
How many inspectors are there now?
There are roughly 60 inspectors.
And I know these are tough budgetary times for all of us. Do you see that maybe is an area where we wish we had more, that we could do a better job if we had more than 60?
We always wish we had more, to be more proactive as we go about enforcement, but we really rely on the public quite a bit to assist us when there are violations seen in the community, and we encourage the community to advise us of those violations. As a matter of fact, I have a telephone number. If you see land grading activities or critical area violations that you would like to report, the number is 410-222-7777. And it's a 24-hour monitored line. We will try and respond within 24 to 48 hours for any of those types of violations.
So people should know that they could make complaints anonymously.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll respond to any complaint that we receive.
Let me ask you about Robert Hubbard, the person. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Maryland, in Montgomery County, and raised in Montgomery County. I still reside in Montgomery County. My wife is an employee of the Montgomery County government. She's a librarian. And so I've chosen the commute while she finishes up her career with Montgomery County. And when she retires, we'll consider our relocation. Certainly Anne Arundel is a beautiful community.
Who's the politician? You or me? I'm just kidding. Then you went to college.
I went to the University of Maryland.
Oh, well, most of your time was spent here.
I've been a local boy all along. Yes.
Did you do graduate work?
No, just undergraduate work. Bachelor's degree in urban studies, architecture as a major, as a prime major in urban studies.
What about your children? Do you have children?
I have 2 grown children, and
where are they?
They're right now living with me. My son has moved back from Montana.
Oh, really?
While his wife pursues a doctorate degree in nursing. And I have their family, 2 granddaughters, also at home with me. And
where in Montana was he?
He was in Bozeman, Montana.
Oh, sure, the firefighter capital.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. As a matter of fact, I keep a vacation home out there now because I'm an avid fly fisherman, and I love the waters out there.
Okay, okay. Well, listen, I very much appreciate your willingness to serve this county and its people. We're always looking for ways to improve our service at all levels of government. But I'm hoping after this second term, after these 4 years of service, that we'll find that we've made certain efficiencies and improved the process. I know everybody in the county is looking to see us do that, and we're both committed to do that. So thank you again for your service, and thank you for listening to Anne Arundel County Week in Review.
Karla, Karla, I've got to say, you know, you look at all our departments in the county, and IMP, they do so much. I mean, these guys, you know, your approval of your building permits, and you can think, okay, you bring your paperwork in, and you get all your approvals, and you're good to go. But really, what they're doing is they're making certain that that structure you're building or that grading activity that you're doing is going to be safe for years to come, so that it's a good quality structure.
Safe and compliant from buildings big to small.
That's what we do. Well, the Department of Inspections and Permits is one of the, as we said, most complex agencies that we have, because it deals with all construction projects, large and small, throughout Anne Arundel County. Whether you're building a deck or a shed or a multi-million-dollar casino, you have to go through this department. Robert Hubbard is going to be working very hard to increase efficiency in the department and make it easier for citizens to know all the rules. We'll have a lot more to report in the coming months about that and other issues. Well, in the second half of our show, County Executive Leopold will be talking with Gina Ludo from the Department of Recreation and Parks. You won't want to miss this one.
There is more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what is happening around the county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There are a lot of myths about hiring people with disabilities.
It will cost a lot of money. The truth is
50% of accommodations cost under $500.
People with disabilities. Fact is, 90% of workers with disabilities performances are rated average or above. See the possibilities, create opportunity.
Work matters.
Visit mdod.maryland.gov.
We're here at Lake Waterford Park on Freedom Field with Wendy Scarborough, Recreation Supervisor. Thanks for being on the show, Wendy.
Thank you, Carolyn, for having me. It's a very great thing for us to be here at our new adaptive field at Lake Waterford Park.
Now, speaking of the adaptive field, what spring programs do you have coming up?
We have a lot of new spring programs that we're going to be putting here on the field starting in April. We have our Challenger Baseball, which we will be in our 5th year of hosting the youth here. We also will be starting some spring lacrosse. We have some programs for our middle school age youth here on the field with a kickball program. Our programs are basically meant for anyone. So anybody of any ability is welcome to come to the park and participate in our programs.
Now, speaking of any ability, you also have an adult program coming up.
We do. This year we are going to try on Sundays. We're going to try a league for our integrated adults to be able to come out and play softball on the field. This is a great field. It's a rubberized field. It's great on the knees. It's wonderful for wheelchair accessibility. So it is a place that we feel that everyone who wishes to come to recreate will be able to.
How about summer? Tell us about your summer programs.
We are very excited about this summer, not only here at Lake Waterford Park, but at our Mayo Beach Park. Here we'll be offering some programs in June. At the end of school, we'll have our 2-week day program that runs from 9 to 3. And then in the summertime, when it's hot during the day, we're planning to come out with a program in the evening from about 4 to 8. We're going to have 2 weeks of camp available for 2 sessions, so it'll be a total of 4 weeks available for the youth.
Great. And other programs that you have going on here at Lake Waterford Park outside of Freedom Field?
With this spring, we are starting some new programs here. We have some fly fishing events that we're going to be doing, some fly tying, some fly casting. We also are working with the community on some community cleanups. On April 30th, we're going to have a big community cleanup day here. We also are working with our youth and our adults who need to come out and just do some walking and some running. We're going to have our trails ready to be utilized for some running, as well as utilizing the park for some walks. With that being said, that is a program that you can register for. When you register, you will receive a t-shirt. And then on May 17th, we'll be back in the park for a walk and run that will help us support Rec Deeds for Special Needs, which is a parent and family group that helps us with scholarships for our programs.
Well, speaking of programs like Rec Deeds, and what other partnerships do you have going on?
We also partner with Special Olympics here on the field. In the fall, we had a soccer program that they ran here. This spring, we'll be having their softball program here on the field in the evenings. We also are partnered with the Anne Arundel County Public Schools. Their new unified sports program that will be starting this spring with bocce ball on March the 26th. They will be here for a showcase in the afternoon where all the schools and the programs will be coming to play on our field for the first time. And then they will be going on to their own fields for the rest of their season.
Sounds like the field is going to be busy this spring.
It is, so we hope you will all come out and visit the park as well as the field and see what we're doing.
I wish I could go back when I didn't need someone to do my hair, back when I could still say my husband's name, back when I could have called 911 but didn't, back when I first felt the warning signs of a stroke but did nothing. I wish I could go back, but I can't.
With a stroke, time lost is brain lost. At the first warning signs, take action immediately.
Welcome back. In this week's Police Beat, Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy is here to tell us about a Sweet 16 party that didn't turn out so sweet. Justin.
Thanks, Erik. While officers were on the parking lot of the Moose Lodge, they heard several gunshots and observed a blue Crown Victoria leaving the parking lot at a high rate of speed. Eastern District officers stopped the vehicle and all 5 occupants were detained. Additionally, a handgun was located and recovered on Crane Highway near the exit of the Moose Lodge parking lot. Preliminary information indicated that a 19-year-old female victim from Severn was grazed in the lower extremity by 1 round as she ran from the area. Now, the victim refused treatment for the superficial wound at the scene. After further investigation consisting of interviews of the victim, witnesses, as well as suspects, it was determined that the incident resulted from the suspects being refused entry to the large party taking place at the Moose Lodge. The hall had been rented out for a 16th birthday party, and officers reported that there was no security in place, although the rental agreement stated security was to be provided by the renter. 2 suspects in this case were arrested and charged with first-degree assault, second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, reckless discharge of a firearm, wear, carry, and transport handgun on person and in a vehicle, and also charged with handgun in the commission of a felony. This investigation continues. The first suspect that was charged was Desmond Smith, age 23, of 215 Farragut Court, apartment 107 in Annapolis, Maryland. The second subject is Tajee Bennett, age 16, of 1315 Tyler Avenue in Annapolis, Maryland. He was charged as an adult. We're going to move on now to our second incident. That took place on February 19th around 6:23 in the evening. That's when officers responded to a reported robbery that just occurred at the Super Fresh grocery store located in the 7700 block of Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie. 2 male suspects, one armed with a handgun, entered the store and approached the customer service counter. The armed suspect displayed the handgun and demanded money. The suspects then obtained an undetermined amount of U.S. currency and were last seen fleeing the area in a red car traveling southbound on Ritchie Highway. Officers checked the area but were unable to locate the suspects or the suspect vehicle. The first suspect in this incident is being described as a black male in his 40s with a heavy build, last seen wearing a gray jacket, a black hat, along with black pants, white shoes. He was also armed with an apparent handgun. The second suspect is being described as a black male in his 40s, very tall. He also has a heavy build, wearing all black clothing and black gloves. Now, as always, if you have any information on any of the crimes or suspects mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers hotline. The number is available 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. Now, you can also text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637. Your third option, visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Erik.
Thank you, Justin. You've got to feel bad for the youngster who was having the party, and it's a good thing, though, that no one was seriously hurt.
In this week's Community Spotlight, Mark Chang talked to the Linthicum Women's Club about some exciting events they have coming up next month. Mark?
Thank you, Karla and Erik. I'm here at the clubhouse of the Women's Club of Linthicum Heights today on North Hammonds Ferry Road in Linthicum. and here to get a little information about what the club does and also about upcoming events that the club is hosting for the community. Today I'm here with Ms. Vernie Linthicum and also Ms. Barbara Walter. Ms. Vernie Linthicum is second vice president of the club, and Ms. Barbara Walter is a board member and also ticket sales chairwoman for events. First of all, I'd like to start with you, Ms. Linthicum. Could you tell us a little bit about the club?
The club was started in 1939, and the following year they joined the General Federation of Women's Clubs, which is a huge organization, an international one, and it's the largest volunteer group of women in the world, or so we're told. So it has been around for a number of years.
Could you tell the folks out there a little bit about the demographics of the club?
We have women ages probably about 25 to over 90, and there is an evening group as well. This is where the younger women, of course, can come more easily because they work.
And what are some of the big events that you all do for the community?
We join in the parade and, of course, the fair, which is in September. We have things such as the gala. We have a Christmas festival, the Holiday Mart, in December, and that, of course, is open to the community. So there may be some other large ones I'm not thinking of.
We do many things here in the community. We support the concerts in the park, which are held off on Benton Avenue every summer. I believe that's 6 or 7 concerts are held. We also support many charities here in our area, and we in general take care of flower beds here in our community to try to keep Linthicum beautiful.
I noticed this big blue replica of a house behind us, and this looks like the one that's actually the one that I pulled into today to come interview you all. It looks like the clubhouse. Could you tell us a little information about this?
This wonderful house was built by a club member with the help of her husband, and it's been used in the parades, the day of the community fair, and it has been dressed up in different ways, such as for the spring tea, it's made to look like a house that's all ready for spring, and then it has been used the way it is now for our galas, which are held in December. So we're very proud of this woman to have her as a member with all her abilities.
Yes. It is George and Jane Sovereigns are the people that built this. I believe it's been 5 years ago now. And it was first used in the parade, the community fair parade, to celebrate our Women's Club anniversary. And then we've used it one other time in the parade, and then, as Bernie said, we use it each holiday, and we decorate it according to whatever holiday it is. So,
for those folks out there who may want to get more information about the club, what's the best way to get more information, and how can they become members?
They can call our ticket sales person here, who, and at her number, which is 410-859-0151. And we're always looking for new members, and they can come and visit. They can call her and say, I'd like to come and just, attend one meeting to see what I think, so they can do that as well. But we would like for them to join.
we have many committees within our club, so there is something for everyone in our club. If you are a reader, we have evening and daytime book groups. We have a garden group. We have an arts and crafts group. There's just something for everyone in our club.
I know I've had the opportunity to participate in many of the programs and events that you all have here, and I've been actually in one of your meetings, and it's been a wonderful time for me to get to know the ladies of this club. For those out there who are interested, what are the eligibility for them to become a member of the club?
To want to join in different things in these committees that Barbara has mentioned, there are so many ways that they can come and just enjoy it, or they can just come to the meetings. And that may be all they want to do, but eventually they may want to join one of the smaller groups.
All you have to be is 18 years or older and an interest in having fun and helping your community. That's our only requirement.
Well, that sounds great. Now we got two of it. You have two events coming up, big events that are coming up, and could you tell the folks out there a little bit about the events and also how they can get involved?
I can do that. Our annual prayer breakfast, this is the 34th annual, will be held Tuesday, March 8th, and it will be held at the Linthicum Heights United Methodist Church, which is on School Lane here in Linthicum. Our speaker will be Mr. Olin Yoder, and he is a retired art teacher here in our community, and quite a character. I think everyone would enjoy hearing him speak. About 200 people attend this prayer breakfast. The tickets are $10 each, and you can call me for those tickets. My number is 410-859-0151.
Great, and also there's a bingo event coming up too?
There is a bingo event coming up. That is going to be on Saturday, March 19th. That will be at 2 o'clock, and that will be right here at our clubhouse. And we will have prizes consisting of gift certificates for various area restaurants, some large baskets filled with all sorts of goodies. Refreshments will be served. These tickets for this event for 20 games will be $20 each. And you can also call me again at 410-859-0151 for tickets. Thank you.
I'd like to add with the prayer breakfast the fact that it's not a true fundraiser, but we do make money, and all of the profits go to 3 charitable organizations. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this helps us to really enjoy doing this sort of thing.
Ms. Linthicum and Mrs. Walter, I just want to thank you both for the time to come on the show today and talk a little bit about what the club does and the different events that are coming up. So for all those folks out in Linthicum, also in Anne Arundel County, who wish to participate in these programs, please you can contact the club at 410-859-0151. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, County Executive Leopold joins us once again as he talks with Gina Ludo, a child care specialist with the Department of Recreation and Parks. She works for a great program, but she also has a lot of other interesting accomplishments outside of work. Let's go again to our County Executive, John Leopold, with Gina Ludo.
With me today is Gina Ludo from the Department of Recreation and Parks, and she's going to talk to us about the daycare program, about her acting, and also her painting. So we're all looking forward to hearing what Gina has to say. Gina, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Great. Tell us, first of all, about the daycare program. A lot of people aren't aware that Anne Arundel County contracts with certain daycare providers. Tell us a little bit about the program.
Well, we work with Anne Arundel County Public School System, and we're in the school system, but we are a before and after care program that is licensed child care. So that's the difference between some of the programs that we have at Recreation and Parks that are more like day camps, and we're actually licensed child care. So we have to follow a lot of regulations.
When you say you're licensed, you mean you license contractors to perform the daycare, or do we have county employees doing the daycare?
Right. We are licensed through the state, the Office of Child Care, through MSDE.
Right.
No, our separate centers, the 32 centers, are all licensed separately.
Okay. So they get a license from the state?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the county's responsibility?
Well, it's not really the county's responsibility. Well, the county is more of their responsibility is the liaison between the schools and getting the space.
Okay.
That's the county's responsibility, is working together with the board.
Administratively, are these within the Department of Recreation and Parks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're the school-age child care division.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's County Recreation and Parks, but the facility is located in the school.
Yes.
Always in the school?
Always in the school.
And how many schools participate?
Well, technically 33, though Folger McKenzie and Pasadena are sharing a space right now, since Folger McKenzie is being renovated. So we bus them to Pasadena Elementary, and they run the program in the cafeteria and gym.
Okay, so how many contractors are there?
We have 33 different licenses.
Really?
Yes.
33 different
Yes.
daycare providers?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, we're all the same provider. That's
Well, I
not really making sense.
I mean, there's a private contractor out there who does the work. Are they county employees?
No, it's us.
It's the county employees who do it?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
There's 3 supervisors.
Okay.
Myself and Robin Rabinowitz and Kathleen McLean.
Okay.
So we're the operators. We're the
Okay.
ones who do all the paperwork for that.
Okay, but okay, so they're county employees who actually are providing the daycare at the facility?
Like, you mean run
Like,
the program?
run the program.
Yes, we hire what we call center directors,
Mm-hmm.
and they do the daily operations, and then we're supervisors that like oversee all the programs.
Okay.
So we do have 32 different directors out there. We have one that she does 2 centers. And so that way she watches over the daily operations. We watch over the whole thing.
Okay, so within the school, under the director, how many employees?
Right now we have
Typically.
about 2,000 children in the programs altogether.
Mhm.
So some programs are only 20 kids big, and some are 90.
No, but you have the employees,
Right,
the people with daycare providers.
It's a 1-to-15 ratio, so we try to staff for 1-to-10. So if you have 90 children, you're going to have 9 employees.
You say 1-to-15 ratio. Is that by law? Or
By law, it's 1-to-15.
Okay.
We try to staff 1-to-10. That way, if someone's out, we're still within law.
Okay. What are the ages that can?
5 to 12.
5 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, school
okay.
age.
Is there a waiting list? for people?
In some of the areas, there are waiting lists. I believe Windsor Farm and Nantucket are 2 sites that currently we're at capacity and we have a waiting list.
Okay.
But any other places we can open, we do.
Many years ago when I was in the legislature, I got an award from the Maryland Child Care Association for my work in child care.
Oh, awesome.
I wanted to try to provide assistance for the insurance, the cost of insurance that they have to provide.
Oh, right, right.
Well, what are some of your insights after having been in charge of this program, and what are some of your thoughts about how to make the program more effective, if you think we should?
Personally, I think now we have someone that is now running the show. Tammy Anderson was promoted after Kathy left, and Tammy was a director, and then she was a child care specialist like myself for many years, and she is very motivated, and she is one of those people that has a plan, you know, like a 5-year plan, then a 10-year plan.
Okay.
She's amazing, and she's really making us look at the future and what we can do, and I would like to see more money going into the programs, more enrichments, more.
What would the money specifically be used for that you'd like to see?
I want to see the money going to the kids.
What specifically would it be for?
I mean, like more toys, more games, more educational type of games and stuff like that. So.
Do you have a process where parents can offer suggestions for improvement if they wanted to?
Yes, we do have a comment list. We also take emails. And depending on who it's to, you know, we take care of that. If there's any kind of, and we do parent surveys as well.
Okay. Let me ask you, because we always like to find out about the person.
Mm-hmm.
You were born and raised in Anne Arundel?
Born in Baltimore City, but raised in Anne Arundel County.
Where? Which part of the county?
Pasadena, Glen Burnie, Millersville.
Pasadena. Where in Pasadena? Which community?
I was in the Bodkin School District.
Okay.
Back when I lived there, it was horse farms.
Did you live on Bodkin Avenue? What street were you on?
It was, what was that called?
I've walked all the streets, so I know them all.
It's by Angel's Food Market.
Okay. Old Mountain
Was it
Road?
Forest something?
Forest Glen?
Yes. There you go.
Okay, so you went to
went to Bodkin originally.
Elementary
school.
Okay. You know, that was a blue ribbon school at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was an excellent school, one of the excellent schools in the state.
Oh, they're great down there.
And then high school?
I went to Old Mill.
Old Mill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I lived in Millersville as a teen.
Tell me about your acting.
Well, when I went to UMBC, and they have a very famous, weird, artsy theater program there, and I totally manipulated my way in, but I looked at it as acting.
Okay. Okay.
I was supposed to go to Towson University, and at the last minute, I decided I didn't want to go. And so I called the head of the theater program, and I said, I'm an actress. I've been acting for years, and I want to be a part of your program. He said, well, usually you have to go through this whole process and audition and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm amazing. I don't need to audition.
Okay.
It was a total lie. So he's like, okay, show up for class. Well, I show up for class, like hair done, nails, you know, looking all fantastic. And they're all in sweats, rolling on the ground, doing yoga and vocal exercises. And everyone looked at me like, who is this crazy person? You know, like I was 19 at the time, so I thought, you know, I was like, whatever, I'm amazing, and
So
I'm an actress.
Did you go there 4 years? You
4 years. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got a degree in?
I have a degree in visual and performing arts,
Okay.
theater, and photography.
Okay, have you been in some plays?
Oh, yeah. I was in a lot of plays there at the school.
How about
and,
since then?
I did a couple of things with the Unmentionable Theater.
The Unmentionable Theater?
Yes.
Where is that?
That was a group out of Baltimore.
Okay.
And we had a theater space that we used in Hamden.
Okay.
And so I was in anything with a British accent. I'm like, oh, please, let me do it.
Did you see the movie The King's Speech?
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Amazing. Colin Firth is
And Jeffrey Rush?
awesome. Jeffrey Rush is. Have you ever seen Quills?
No, but I was so impressed with him in that movie. Now, you're also an artist. You told me about a mural you did at Glendale.
Yes. I didn't go to school for art, but I, because I couldn't act as much because of working so much, I was like, had all this creative juices and I didn't know what to do with them. So I just started painting. I went to...
Oils?
I actually acrylics.
Okay.
It's cheaper.
Okay. Yeah. I used to paint before I got into politics.
Oh, really?
Yes. I sold things in Philadelphia and New York.
Oh my gosh, what did you paint?
Oils, abstract expressionist things.
Oh, see, that's my cup of tea too.
Well, tell me about the mural at Glendale. How did you get to do that?
I basically, I don't remember where I was working at the time, 04. I was a director at Oak Hill for the child care program over there. And I basically asked Kathy Guidry, I said, Glendale is like our first new space and it is absolutely boring. I go, we have this big gorgeous space and these white expansive walls and it wasn't comforting, it wasn't homey or anything like that. And so she said, well, you have to ask the principal. So I went to the principal, I was like, can I paint some murals on the actual walls?
You just went up, took the initiative to ask her?
Mm-hmm. And he was like, yep, that's fine, go ahead.
What were the murals of? What's the subject?
One is, it's like a two-piece mural. One is like a little teddy bear astronaut in space. And he's got this huge, beautiful telescope, and it's got like little science, it's more like science. It's got like the little...
How large is the mural?
Oh, it's pretty big.
Did you just pay for it all yourself? And you did a donation? That was very good.
Oh, yeah. And, well, I had to get over my fear of heights, though.
Okay.
And I was like, I had the really long handle brushes, and I was like up there going like this, and I didn't know at the time, because I freehanded it. I didn't know at the time, now they've got projectors that can project pictures up there and everything, and I just kept going up and down, and looking back and making sure it looked okay. And so I have a space scene, and then the telescope is supposed to be looking at the other wall, which is a landscape, a little boy he's on a bridge in his jammies, and he's looking at like a little babbling brook, and it was my brother.
Very good.
So I painted my brother in his onesie pajamas that he didn't want to grow out of.
Jonathan Hodgson, who's the county attorney, is also an actor.
Oh, really?
So I find it very interesting to see what passions the employees have in other fields and other endeavors. Well, listen, I very much appreciate your taking the time to come on and let the county residents know a little bit about you and the good work that you do.
Thank you, County Executive. It's always great to see that the people we deal with every day providing county services are also so talented in many other ways.
Mary Felter is back this week to talk about an important program called Making the Link. This helps caregivers access services in the area. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today my guest is Barbara Buckleichner, who is the coordinator of our MAP program at the Department of Aging and Disabilities. MAP stands for Maryland Access Point, which is a starting point for people who need information on various resources available at so many different agencies in the state and the county, sometimes even on a national level. Welcome to the program, Barbara.
Thank you, Mary. It's nice to be here.
I asked you to the program today because you all are starting a new program called Making the Link. Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, well, certainly Making the Link is from a federal initiative started in 2002 under for the Departments of Aging, and basically Making the Link is to tap a hidden resource for information assessment.
Why the medical community? Why are you reaching out to them?
Okay, well, let me give you an example. Let's just say family members come home and they see their parents or their loved ones, and they're really not doing so well. They've noticed a real change in how they are coping, and so they see a loss of independence. And if the child or the caregiver lives nearby, then they can step up and assist. But if they live farther away, then they'll need to get resources from other people.
And that resource could be a physician then?
Right. Well, normally the first step is to go to a physician to see basically what the problem is and what resources there are to help handle the problem. But many times physicians don't know all the resources that we have in the Department of Aging. And so what we've developed is a very simple tool to assist the physician in linking these patients to our services.
So what have you put together?
Okay, well, the way it works is we have come up with a very simple RX pad.
Oh,
and
okay.
Basically when the patient asks about transportation or Meals on Wheels or getting some care into the home, personal care, or sometimes it can be prescription medicine advice as to how they can get better
prices
health
on
insurance and that type of thing. All the physician has to do is just hand them one of these little cards and say, this is a little bit too much information for today, but if you call these people, these folks, they'll be able to help you.
That sounds like a good idea. Are you going to expand this program? Are you going to go past the physician's office?
Yeah. Right now what we're doing is we are also meeting with emergency response teams so that in ambulances there will be these RX cards. And also there's the medical home model, and these things will be available for certain practices.
That sounds like a really good idea. And if I were a medical professional, how can I make the link?
Well, that's very easy. Just call the Department of Aging, and we'll be happy to meet with the healthcare professionals and explain.
In their office?
In their office, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We make office visits and talk to them about the program, explain it to them a little bit. Many times also a patient will leave the doctor and go to the receptionist and say, oh my gosh, you know, he wants to see my mom 3 times a week and I can't get her here. How can I go about it? And we do provide transportation, so the receptionist just has to give them one of our cards and start the process that way.
One of the RX pad colorful
yes.
little sheets of paper.
They're very
so.
Colorful so they don't get lost.
That's a good idea.
Yes, exactly.
And is there a number that anyone can call for MAP to get this information?
Yeah, the telephone number is 410-222-4257.
Would you repeat that for our viewers?
Yes, it's 410-222-4257.
And that's going to connect someone to the Maryland Access Point and also give them Making the Link.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you, Barbara, for coming on the program today and letting our viewers know about this new program at the Department of Aging and Disabilities, and I appreciate your giving us your time.
Well, thank you, Mary. It's been a pleasure.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and you've been watching Making the Link with Barbara Buck-Leitner, coordinator of our MAP program at the department. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary.
What's coming up?
What's coming up? We're going to discuss the Senior Idol competition.
Senior Idol. So it's not American Idol. That's the guy, Simon Cowell's no longer on that program,
No,
right?
Steven Tyler is, and J-Lo now instead of Paula Abdul.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo. Some people may not know who J-Lo is. I didn't know who J-Lo was.
I think our viewers do.
I think you're right. Well, I tell you, I've got to, you watch American Idol, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched it in a couple of years. I hear, though, that it's good this year, that everybody's very relaxed, and Simon's not there, so he's not yelling at anybody, making them uncomfortable. But think about some of the people that have come through that program. Carrie Underwood, Jennifer Hudson,
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson. If there was no American Idol,
would
they
know
have
them?
ever been discovered as talented out there?
And win an Oscar like Jennifer Hudson?
Yeah.
I don't know. But we have some of our seniors in our county. Hopefully they'll be discovered as well, and that's what we're going to talk about. American Idol fans, we had our very own version of the popular show last week for senior citizens. 2 talented seniors will have a chance to compete against the best in the state next month. Shirley Valencia, a hairdresser at Nancy's Styling Salon in Brooklyn Park, and Betty Rossler of Severn, who began singing at the age of 5 on the Candy Corner television show on Channel 11. They took home the crown. Valencia sang The Way We Were, and Rossler sang Don't You Make My Brown Eyes Blue. A dozen senior citizens, all aged between 60 and 80, competed at the competition at the Paschal Center. The 2 winners move on to the 5th Annual Maryland Senior Idol Vocal Competition on March 30th from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Chesapeake Arts Center in Brooklyn Park. Tickets are $6 and may be purchased at the door. Come cheer on our own idols for a good cause. Proceeds go to benefit the Maryland Food Bank. For more information, call 410-636-6597 or go to www.chesapeakearts.org.
That's just a great story. I mean, it's
It
just,
is.
you know, the senior, when you look at our senior centers in this county, how important they are. I mean, they have pool tournaments, they have senior idol competitions, they have wonderful classes. I mean,
Educational programs, they're so active.
They really are. I mean, it's just great that, you know, there's an avenue for folks that have worked their entire lives, you know, they've raised their families, that they've got something that they can do during the day and really be involved with their peers.
And they teach each other classes too.
Absolutely.
Whatever their specialties might be, exercise classes, photography classes.
Well, let's talk about weather classes. I mean, we talked about some crazy weather around here.
We have been having crazy weather, snow, winds.
70-degree temperatures
70-degree
in February.
temperatures.
It's been just wacky. But I read something a few days back that we have this approaching solar storm out there. And I don't get anybody alarmed. It sounds really Star Wars type stuff. But apparently, over the course of the next year or 2, 3 years here, we have the real possibility of having solar weather that's actually going to possibly affect some of our telecommunications facilities. Some of our power grids could be affected by this. And this happens to the Earth from time to time, 10, 20, 30-year cycles. But because of the emergence of technology and how dependent we are on satellites and power grids, this could really wreak havoc on us.
When's the last time it's happened?
I believe it was 15 years ago.
Okay.
And you didn't have the type of
That's true.
satellite communications that we have now.
The kind of, even the internet, as much as we rely upon it now.
So it's amazing that, you know, technology has emerged, but there are forces out there that could damage our technology and damage our quality of life.
Mother Nature's still a force.
Briefly. Yeah, it is. Don't mess with her. I don't. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. That is, if we don't have a solar storm. Archived episodes are available at blip.tv and YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please tune in again with us next week as we'll have more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.